All right, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope all of you are well and in good state of imam as well as physical health. So what's going to happen today? We're going to talk about trauma, okay? It's quite a difficult topic, but inshallah, I will make it easy for all of us. Don't forget to ask me any questions down there. I'm here to help you. If you are rewatching this video, don't hesitate to drop me a note under this video and I can answer your questions afterwards, inshallah. So where do we begin, right? Maybe let me ask you a question, right? Do you feel often frightened? Like almost like you are under threat? Do you feel helpless? Do you generally recognize what is a dangerous place? Like your sense of security is seriously shaken. Do you feel humiliated or rejected by others in your life? Maybe you're going through symptoms of abandonment and you tend to isolate yourself because that's the only thing you know. Maybe it's a case where you are feeling trapped, including experiencing trapped emotions. Maybe you feel ashamed, powerless, and under compulsion of maybe even treating a secret. Maybe it's a case that you're dealing with self-blame, guilt, and shame, right? Maybe you've done some work already, and your therapist, they told you, oh, we need to work with anger or irritability or mood swings. Maybe it's a case that you are reaching out to therapists and you're dealing with denial, disassociation, disbelief in whatever have happened to you. So you are in that, perhaps you are in the confusion, right? You're finding it even difficult to concentrate, not only to think about an event, but generally, in your life, your head doesn't really serves you the way you wish your head to serve you. Maybe even on a physical level, you can't sleep. You're experiencing nightmares, reoccurring nightmares. They give you fright. Maybe they're even full of symbolic meanings. Maybe you are always tired. You experience fatigue, muscle tensions, and not to mention headaches and aches all over your body. Maybe you out of nowhere experiencing heartbeats, increased heartbeats. And you're sweating and you're feeling jumpy, right? You always have that tension about you. So if this sounds like home, unfortunately, maybe it's a case of you recovering from emotional and psychological trauma, right? So trauma is actually an emotional response to an event like accident, rape, natural disaster, and even a loss. And after this shock, straight after this shock, you're experiencing also denial. So you're detaching yourself, you're detaching yourself from your own experiences. And in psychology, we recognize 3 types of trauma. So there's acute trauma, which results from a single stressful event. We have chronic trauma, which results from repeated, prolonged exposure to highly stressful events, such as abuse or bullying. And there is also a complex trauma, and this results from exposure to multiple traumatic events. So, if you're experiencing those long-term reactions on emotional, physical level, you have flashbacks, and it also affects your day-to-day life. Maybe it's time for you to actually be honest with yourself and make an honest account of what happened. So the trauma can be caused by numerous reasons, okay? So it could be one-off-time event where you experience injury, you go through accident, or it's any type of attack. And normally, most of the times, it goes back to your childhood. So childhood trauma results from anything that disturbs your childhood sense of security and safety and being loved. So that can include parental neglect, so meaning they provide unsafe environment. So maybe you were neglected, maybe they're going through separation, maybe they were going through serious illness. Maybe it is the case that you've been subjected to sexual, emotional, physical, verbal abuse. Maybe you witnessed domestic violence. Those things are for you to really contemplate deeply on and own them as part of your history. Trauma can be also caused by direct or indirect causes. So it's not the case of you being in the center of the event. You might be witnessing harm being done to somebody else, and you couldn't act at that time. So those kind of situations, like you living in a very dangerous neighborhood, it is environment driven by crime, right? And this atmosphere creates an idea for your autonomic system that you have to be in fight, flight, and fight response, because you're experiencing life-threatening experiences on day-to-day basis. Maybe you're going through a life-threatening illness, and that also puts you in that fight and flight situation. Now, it could be the case that it is a sudden death of somebody that puts you in a trauma. It could be the case that you're breaking up of very significant relationship and you can't stop that from breaking. Maybe you are being humiliated or deeply disappointed. Maybe you're experiencing bullying. Maybe somebody is abusing you. And whatever the causation, if it's linked with the symptoms, which you said already yes at the beginning of this video, now it's time to sit down and make a decision. Am I moving on, and am I going to help my body to heal, or am I being stuck? So, have a look at your physical symptoms, have a look at your emotional symptoms, right? And see what works for you best. You have a chance to be better at work, be better at relationship. You don't have to suffer from anxieties and fears or even depression on a daily basis. You don't have to be scared all the time. You can feel safety and security within yourself and in life externally. Your memories, they don't have to be filled with nightmares and flashbacks. Your memory can actually work very well for you. You need to understand that emotionally, you can be very fluorescent. You don't have to be numb and disconnected from others and yourself because of that experience. You don't even have to go into alcohol or drugs to feel better. You can get help from a professional, obviously, but also you can make a decision to change your lifestyle. And by that, obviously, I'm going to advise healthy diet, movement, exercise, sleep, very healthy sleeping routine, avoiding stimulants such as coffee, not to mention alcohol and so forth, relaxation techniques, and making decision not to isolate yourself and make new friends, of going outside of your comfort zone and sharing this experience in the therapeutic environment, maybe group environment, also isn't a good idea. What else will work for you is maybe a breathing exercises, deep breathing exercises, and concentrating on your sensory experiences. So, have a look what light works for you, how smell or taste calms you down. Make that investigation about you, what kind of tunes of music or or maybe holy books work for you to soothe you. Think about grounding exercises. Is it the case that you can sit on the chair and feel your feet on the floor? Is it the case that you can go to the garden, take off your socks and walk on the grass? Is it the case that you can go outside to the park or even a trip and smell, feel the wind on your face? Get in touch with yourself basically, because with trauma you most likely are a subject of desensitization, numbness, and disassociation. So we sort of want you to come back to your body. Allow yourself to feel what you feel, obviously in a very safe environment, and don't think that it is only you who is this in situation. However, if trauma symptoms are prolonged and they last longer than a few days or even a few months, you might want to consider whether you are subject to PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. This is psychological trauma, and it doesn't ease up as quickly as symptoms of trauma. It is more complex because it is more disturbing, and it's been generally recognized that your nervous system is getting stuck, and you are remaining in this psychological and emotional shock for prolonged period of time. And obviously PTSD needs a professional investigation and support, right? So the message here is that you don't need to be a subject to symptoms of trauma. You have a choice, and obviously the choice is yours. You have a choice to release yourself from it with a decision whether you're moving on or whether you're staying the way you are. It takes the courage, it takes the support, but also it takes knowledge, and I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to sign to my YouTube channel, AJ's Therapy, for more videos like this. Okay, I see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum. Let me see if I have any questions on Facebook. I normally, salam alaikum, wa alaikum assalam. To everyone, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, if you're finding those videos or this video particularly useful, just give me a thumb up or not. And I see you on Wednesday, more or less the same time. Okay, salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh for now.